All right, I don't know. I guess they're not doing the minute of silence. I'm not sure. All right, guys, first off, I need to start off with a few reminders. We've got our test next class, which is tomorrow, because this is a B week. So there is a few things I will be asking you to turn in. It's been in Google Classroom for a few days, but if you haven't looked, you need to look. Test review, the chain rule circuit, both of those need to be turned in. But also a reminder with late work stuff, If there was anything that you turned in incomplete, got half credit on, you can finish it and get half of those points back. Or if there was something you never turned in and currently have a 0, you can go and complete it, turn it in, and get half the points back. But once we start the test tomorrow, that will be the due date, the last chance for even late points. So, same as Unit 1, but I like to remind you when it comes around test time, just in case that applies to you. So, any questions about that part? Again, please turn them in the Google Classroom, but I will give you a chance to turn in hard copies as well. If you just plan on turning in hard copies and you forget it, I will not take it because it will be late. So, all right. So what we're going to do today in class is I have a review game that I think will help get you a little bit more practice and a little bit more feedback to prepare for tomorrow's test. So I will explain how to play this game in just a minute. But you do need, don't get up just yet, but you will need a calculator. Also on the front board up there, there was you'll need whiteboard, marker, and one of those brown paper towels to clean with. But I do need to divide them up. So it's, even though it's the unfair game, I still try to make it a little better. All right, so if you don't have a calculator, whiteboard, marker, please go and grab that, and then we'll talk about the directions. All right, as you guys get situated, if you read the board for the directions. All right, so this is called the unfair game. It's just a silly way to get some practice in. You shouldn't take winning the overall game too seriously. You'll see that it is hard to win, but you do have teammates around you. So back here in the back left, Whitney, you need to take your headphone out. Should not have done that. You guys will be team 1, team 3 will be team 2, team 3, back in the corner 4, then 5, 6, 7, 8 side, and then you 2 will be 9. So again, some teams have 3, some teams have 2, but again, the game part is silly anyway, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Okay, so as the board reads, there will be a question, and we're going to do a practice round on the next screen that's not math related, just to make sure that you understand what to do. There will be 2 timers. Usually the first timer on the bottom left is a 30-second timer, and that first timer you have to work alone. So it doesn't have to be 30 seconds, but there is a set amount of time you have to start the question on your own. Then there'll be a second timer, and once I tell you the second timer has started, then you can work with your teammates. You can compare work, see if you agree on the same thing, help each other out. But then once that time is up, you will need to put your final answer for your team on a big whiteboard. So the small whiteboards for you to do your work on. Oh, y'all stole the big ones. Each team should have one big whiteboard for final answers, and each person should have a small whiteboard for your individual work. Yeah. Sure. Okay. For y'all, just pick one. Just circle whatever your answer is. All right. If you get the question right, when your time is up, you'll have to hold up your whiteboard. If you don't hold it up soon enough after the timer's up, then you won't be qualified for that question. But if you got the question right, I will ask you which team. I'm sorry, are y'all busy? I don't have to do this if y'all don't want to. It's easier for me to just sit here. If your team gets the question correct, you can either choose to keep the points for your team or to give your points to another team. And the reason why you might want to give your points away is that there can be negative points. So you don't know whether it's going to be positive or negative. So that's what makes it unfair. Ignore that. Okay, so this is the practice round, not math related at all. Notice the bottom left timer, 30 seconds. So this would be where you have to work alone. Start the question, think about what to do, write down your work on your small whiteboard. The bottom center shows you that this is a non-calculator question. Okay, let's just pretend, just for time, that this ended. So when the first timer's up, I will tell you the timer's up. I will start the second timer, tell you that I start the second timer. Second timer, both timers vary in how much time it is based on how long the question is or how difficult I think it is. And then when this one gets near the end, I will ask you to hold up your answer. So go ahead and make up an answer. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong, but just go ahead and pick one. Put it. So 7 should be the answer. So 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. 7, that can be 7 times. 7, 7, 7. So what will happen is the one you got it right. So you want to keep the points and give the points away. Anybody else? Try to have these numbers. I didn't raise the whiteboard fast enough because I'm very picky. 5. Again, this is just practice. These points aren't counting. Okay, well then it doesn't matter because, well, except for Team 4. So then I will share how many it was worth. So everybody that got points would get 5 points added to their score. That one was positive, but it could be negative. You never know until it starts. So that's the silly part where you can be as competitive as you want, but you can still be unlucky. Yes?
So if you keep or give, do you know what value of points you're keeping or giving?
You don't.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys ready for the first question? Again, you have to be quiet during the first part. If your team is not quiet, then I'm disqualifying you from that question. And then, of course, we'll talk about some of the questions to make sure that if there's something holding you back, we discuss it. Okay, question 1. No calculator, 30 seconds on your own. Started the second timer, so you don't have to start working together yet, but you're welcome to. But in 2 minutes, finished or not, you need to put up your best guess. And I will admit, some of these questions, the time is a little strict, but again, all of this is really just to try to help you fill in a few gaps before tomorrow. It is kind of hard to see on the bottom right timer too, but it does have a visual that shows you a little bit how much time is left. You're right. Okay, 1 minute. Don't forget your final answer has to go on the big whiteboard. So whenever y'all come to a consensus on what you think your best answer is, it will be on the big whiteboard. Oh, you're right. You're right. So you have to work. I'll walk over. All right, about 20 seconds. Yeah, that works. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay, finished or not, whiteboards have to go up or your answer does not count. Also, I have to find my answers because I don't have them memorized. Okay, if that works. That works. That's good. Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah, I wrote 3
So we don't need to go over that one. Okay, so again, I'll go over the questions we need to go over, but it sounds like that one is one that we can skip past. Difference quotient. Now, one thing I will say is if you guys start plugging in numbers first and then take the derivative, it doesn't work. You need to take the derivative with quotient rule, then plug in the numbers from the table. Okay, team 1, you got it right. So do you want to keep your points or give them to what team? Keep. 2.
We're gonna give ours away.
Okay, which team?
3.
I'm gonna keep.
4.
Keep.
5. Keep. 6.
Keep.
7.
Keep.
8 had a mistake. 9. Team 10. Okay, so it looks like this one was worth 2 points. And just to be clear, you win by the most points. I know some people, has anyone ever played this game before? Okay, I think sometimes when other people play it, it's closest to 0 or something, but yeah.
So we're winning actually.
Okay, and then move along quickly. So new question, time alone. Okay, started the second timer, so you can start working together when you're ready. 2 more minutes.
Times by 2. You have to do the inside and the outside.
All right, 50 seconds to agree on an answer and put it on the big whiteboard. This is multiple choice, so you can at least take a guess. You're down to 7 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, whiteboard's up. What are you split? No, yes, no, 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 yes, no, yes, no. Okay, so we'll go over that one, but let's get our points figured out first. All right, here. All right, which y'all want?
We're gonna give it away to Team 4.
Team what?
Team 4.
Team 4, okay. Team 2 didn't get it right. I'm just happy for y'all. Team 3, did y'all get it? Okay, Team 4 did not get it. Team 5 did not. Team 6, did y'all get it? 7. Team 8. Y'all didn't get it. 9. 10. Oh, you want to? Sorry, I meant to ask. Okay, so the correct answer was supposed to be C before I share the point values with you. So let me. What was this question? Tangent, is it tangent 2x?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I wanted to know the derivative of tangent 2x at pi over 3, pi over 6. Okay, so here's what you started with. The derivative of tangent something is secant squared something. Okay, and chain rule, derivative of the inside was multiplied by 2. So I have that highlighted because that's going to be the most common mistake, is forgetting chain rule. When you plug in at pi over 6, you multiply it by this 2 and it comes pi over 3. So on the unit circle at pi over 3, what is the cosine value at pi over 3? Okay, so then the secant is, it's pi over 6 times 2, because there was a 2 there, which makes it pi over 3. If cosine's 1/2, then secant is 2. Secant is just the reciprocal of cosine. And 2 squared becomes 4 times the 2 with the chain rule, which should give you 8. Based on those choices, it sounds like it might have been unit circle mistake. And if it was because of a time thing, that's fine. But if it's you were confident and you got it wrong, then you probably need to practice unit circle more. Is that enough for those of you that missed it? Okay. Then that puts us at, that one was worth -3.
Is it random when you get or lose points? Yes.
Random in the sense that I made it up years ago. And so you just have to guess what I'm going to make the next one be. But it's supposed to be unfair, so. All right, ready for number 3? I think you guys got the hang of it, so we can kind of chug along here. This is a 2 minutes alone question, and then 2 minutes as a group. So that could mean the question's more places to make a mistake, could just be a longer question, but trying to give you more time here. This is still no calculator. Notice in the bottom center. I think we will look at most of these questions today too, so try not to erase your small whiteboard until we move on. That way you can compare your words with mine. We got 2 more minutes and we're together and ready. All right, 1 minute. Okay, I need final answers in 30 seconds. All right, 10 seconds. Time to make educated guess if you're not there. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, final answers up. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, no. Correct answer was supposed to be 384. All right, so before we go over the question, let's sort out the points.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
All right, team 2, what do you want to do? Or, I'm sorry, team 1.
Oh, we're going
Giveaway to team 2.
Team 2, okay. And then team 2 missed. Team 3, did y'all get it right?
Yeah,
4, 4, did y'all get it right or not? I can't remember all of them. I'm sorry, I have to re-ask. 5, y'all got it? What do you want to keep? 5, keeping. 6, keep. 7 missed. 8 missed. 9. We're going to give it 7. Give it to 7. Okay? And team 10. Give it to 4. Okay? All right. Do y'all want to go over the question first or see the point values first? That's what I thought you would say, but we're going to go over it first. Okay, so we can break down any of these steps, but here's the function. Now, if your work is too messy to keep up with, that's sometimes what I struggle with when y'all ask questions, but there's the function. You can see I took the derivative, brought the power down, lowered the power by 1 times 2. It's highlighted because that's chain rule. That's the most common mistake. I simplified it, took the second derivative by bringing the power down, lowering the power by 1, and then you need chain rule again. Simplified it, Take the derivative a third time by bringing the power down, lowering the power by 1, and multiplying by 2 because of chain rule. Simplified that, and then simplified that up over here. And then fourth derivative left you 192 times the derivative of 2x plus 1, which would be 2. 192 times 2 gave us 384. Okay, specific questions about it? My biggest concern is if you forget, notice, if you remember the chain rule most of the time, but not all 3 times, it's not going to come out. You have to, every single time you take a derivative, you have to consider chain rule. So, nothing specific about that one? Okay, then point values plus 1. Alright, let's move along here and I'll update the points while you guys are working. Okay, just 30 seconds and then 4 minutes. Okay, and now 4 minutes. Notice this is our first calculator allowed question. If calculator helps, then feel free to use it. just a little over a minute. Again, this is multiple choice, so you still get an educated guess even if you feel rushed on time. Down to 30 seconds. All right, 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, time's up. Whiteboard's up. No. That's a yes. It's no, no. No, 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 no. That's a lot of eight. Okay, hold up. All right, first off, what do you guys show me what's good? Y'all got it. Okay. What do y'all want? We're gonna keep. Okay. You're trying to. I'll put up my work and we'll talk about it. You want to figure out an equation that has a tangent line, this graph, where. What does this say? Okay. What's another way to think of derivatives? So the slope is supposed to be. What's the slope on choice A? Oh. So that reason alone, you should have picked A. All right. Before I share the point values, let's look at. It was choice D. Okay, so there was the function. You needed to know where the derivative equaled -1. So let me put this, or +1. I took the derivative where the first derivative equals 1. To solve this, how do you think I did that? Okay, somewhere in your calculator, there's lots of ways to do that. But this told me the x value that it occurred at. That's when the derivative was 1. So notice I plugged that in over here. The slope was given to you at the beginning. And then how do you find y values knowing the x value? Okay, plug it into the function. If you want points, you plug it into the function. So I plugged in this value right here into the function, and that's how I got the y value. You want points, you plug it in the function. You want derivatives, or you want slope, you plug it into the derivative, but that was not even necessary here. That one was given to you. And then for whatever reason, they chose not to write it in point slope. So I distributed the 1, which did nothing, added the 0.115 over, and that left us with choice D. In the past, when we have played with this question, I think a big assumption, and I don't know if anyone did this in here today, but a lot of times you guys plug in 1 for x, but that's not what that says. It doesn't say when x is 1, it says when the derivative is 1. So find the derivative, plug in 1 for the derivative, use your calculator to figure out where that is. That's the, what? You could subtract the 1 over and graph it, or you could do numerical solver. Either one. You still had to figure out the y value, so you had to think about plugging the x value into the function to find the y value. Sometimes you have to plug the x value into the derivative to find the derivative, but again, that part was given to you. And then it was a matter of making your answer look correct. So I think that one was a little bit harder, but that's why I gave you like 4 minutes. So. Okay, anything specific about that before we move on? Okay, so team 5 chose to keep it, and why'd you keep it? Okay, well, if y'all were paying attention, top right, I told you this one was worth 8 points. So you got lucky that you chose to keep it if you didn't notice that. All right, next up, 30 seconds and 3 minutes. Okay, and 3 minutes. Needs to pay attention. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, 2 more minutes. Oh, I didn't. Down to 30 seconds. It is multiple choice, so if you're going to run out of time, start thinking about an educated guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Time's up. Not correct. Not correct. 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 No, yes. No, no. It should be A. The choice A. Okay. All right. Just hold on a second. All right, team 1, did y'all get it?
No, we didn't.
Did not. Team 2 did not. Team 3, what do you want?
55.
It was 5. Team 4, did y'all get it?
Give it to 3.
3. Team 6?
But no.
Blake,
Why
7.
would you do that?
Did y'all get it right? Okay, I'm sorry, I can't remember.
We should.
9, 5.
Oh no.
Team 10, did y'all get it? 8. Okay.
It's gonna feel really badly.
Be careful not to share too much here. Okay, here's my work. The original function, I changed cube root to an exponent of a third. There was already an exponent of 2 there, so that made the new exponent 2/3. Bring the power down, lower the power by 1. Highlighted as chain rule. The derivative of the inside was 2x minus 2. So that highlighted step would be one thing I would be looking over your work to make sure you didn't forget that. Technically that's the derivative, so I guess I could have started to plug in 0 there, but I chose to simplify first step. Looks like I moved that negative 1/3 exponent down to the denominator, which made it a positive 1/3. And plugging in 0 made a lot of that come out nicely. 2 on top, 3 times 0 minus 1. Well, also, I guess that's -1, but the cube root of -1 is still -1. Plug in 0 into the chain rule part, you got -2. Multiply those together, you get -4 over -3, which reduces to positive 4 over 3. Everybody sees their mistake if you missed it? Okay, this is the most important part. So is there any clarifying questions? Any of that step you want me to talk about in more detail or slower? Okay, was y'all's mistake the chain rule part in the middle? No? Okay. Wrote it down wrong? Yeah. Question?
The part at the bottom,
Uh-huh.
when it's like all of that to the 1/3, that's the same thing as doing like the cube root, right?
Correct.
But then you can't take cube root of a negative.
You can't take the even root of a negative. You can't take the square root of negative,
Okay.
a fourth root of a negative, but you can take a cube root.
Okay.
Because -1 times -1 times -1 is -1. If you multiply something by itself an even number of times, it can never come out negative. If you multiply something by itself an odd number of times, it can. Okay, so it looks like team 3 is going to get 1. Team 8 is going to get 1, and team 5 is getting 3. So, good luck. Oh, -4. All right, well that makes it a little more even. Okay, let's start the next one. All right, that's a pretty quick one. Worked a long time. And then you got 1 minute as a group. This one, your final answer could look a lot of different ways. So you'll need to hold up your whiteboards a little bit longer for me to make sure it's equivalent.
Oh, yeah, I did. Cube root squared.
So it's 2x plus
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I give a couple extra seconds because that wasn't very long. 3, 2, 1. Okay, whiteboard's up. And again, you got to leave them up for a second for me to have time to process. Close, but no. That works. That works. Very close. Very, very close. About 110. That works.
No, let's keep this one.
Denominator part, let me get
Well, first, correct.
That's correct.
This is right.
Okay, point values, team 1. Team 1's keeping, team 2 is keeping, team 3 keeping, team 4 keeping, team 5 had a small mistake. Yes? Team
Oh, we're 8.
7, sorry, yeah, 7. Got something. 9. Yes? 10 yes? Okay. We didn't go over this one in my other class. Let me write out the question real quick. Okay, this is what you started with, and this is what you were trying to find. Okay, so I would recommend that you rewrite this as an exponent of a third. So I've not taken any derivative yet, so this is y, this is still y. I've just made it look different. Then to take the derivative, you should have done the power rule, brought the power down, lowered the power by 1, and then of course the part that makes me anxious this time of year is chain rule times the derivative of the inside. If you had no numerator in your answer, that's probably what you forgot. And technically that is the derivative, so I would have accepted this. I think most of you moved this down to the denominator because that's always going to be the case in a multiple choice question. You should never have negative exponent choices. And then you multiply this, so that puts it in the numerator. That's what we were aiming for. Everybody that struggled with that one, see what you need out of it. Okay. Okay, so it looks like most everybody kept their points. This one was only worth +1.
They were at 11. We're at 4. That's totally different.
Okay, everybody ready? .30 seconds and 2 minutes. and 2 minutes together. Bless you. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, down to 30 seconds.
Okay.
All right, 10, 9, 8, 5, 3, 2, 1. All right, final answers up. That's fine. That's fine. You just put one down. That works. That works. You need to actually remember it for close. You need to actually remember it for close. Alright, I will say a lot of y'all's answers are in slope intercept, and point slope would have been fine. Less time, less steps, less places to make mistakes. So, okay, team 1, did you get it?
We're running Keith.
Keith? 3, did you get it?
Give it to team 6.
Team 6, okay.
Because they gave it to us, let's give it to someone else. Let's give it to team 3.
Keep.
Team 6, did y'all get it?
To team
Okay, 3.
It's fine.
Okay, team 7, you need to plug in a number. Team 8.
Get the 6.
Team 6. Okay. 9, you need to plug in a number. 10. And keep. That's the gamble. Okay, so the work for this question, as soon as I saw equation of a tangent line, I started with point slope over here. The 3 values you need to plug in for point slope are a point and the slope. So the x value was given to you in the problem, so that's no big deal. To find the point, you need to know to plug the x value into the function, so that's where I did this. And when x is 1, y is 5. But to find the slope, you have to plug the x value into the derivative. You can't just leave the derivative here. That's too dynamic. At x equals 1, it had a slope of 11. Because if you plug in 1 into the derivative, you end up with 11. So this was perfectly fine. If you wanted to distribute the 11 and add the 5 over, you could. But again, especially on FRQs, just stop there. That's fine. You don't need to do the extra work and run the risk of missing the question. Okay, anything else more specific? Okay, so point values, we've got +6.
Wow. That is Six now has 15. We have
They're good at all targets.
All right, question 8. 30 seconds, 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. About 2 minutes left.
But if you get one, yeah, did you apply
Okay. 1 minute. Okay, you are down to 10 seconds. 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, don't forget this is the unfair game, so. Nope. That works. Nope. 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 Yes.
They always
Nope. Yeah. The second.
Alright, team 1.
Give away to
Get to 6, okay? Team 2, was close. Team 3. Team 4 was. I think y'all were close though. Did y'all not? Oh yeah, your number was off. No. Team 7, did you get it? What do you want to do? 8. Did y'all get? 9. Did y'all get it? Team 10. Okay, so I said unfair game, but I do feel like that probably is fair. A lot of you guys had a good looking number, but there's a big difference between, you can't just say 42. 42 what? 42 inches, $42, 42 miles. It's 42 feet per second squared. So if you got 42, that is, you should still feel good about the question, but I'm not giving you the points. So position to acceleration. If you take the derivative of position, you get velocity. If you take the derivative of velocity, you get acceleration. So you can see I did the power rule, brought the 2 down, lowered the power by 1. In red, I did chain rule. I simplified it a little bit, and then I took the derivative again to get acceleration. And I chose to simplify it a little bit before I plugged in 1 just to make the arithmetic easier, but ended up at 12 plus 18, so 42 feet per second squared. Everybody's okay with the units? So I don't know. I tried to make that seem a little harsh because, again, I know I've said this before, but sometimes on our FRQs, all FRQs are out of 9 points, just like College Board does. And when they count units, they don't always count units, but when they do, it's 1 of the 9 points. So 10% of your FRQ score is just remembering units and putting them down correctly. So you got to make a habit out of that. Anything more specific there? Oh, also on, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. What's happening in the purple?
So I actually did this twice based on someone's question in my 8A class. So I took this and I took the derivative of velocity to get acceleration with the product rule in purple, because it's 6t squared times t cubed plus 1. And then someone said, can't you just distribute that and then do power rule twice? And I wanted you to see that it came out to the same answer. So honestly, this is probably smarter because this is a lot less work, a lot less places to make a mistake. But both ways would get you to 42 feet per second squared. Anything else? Yes.
What's the rule of law that we see like 6 times 5 equals 32 to the 4th? 62 to the 5th equals 32 to the 4th. Will you simplify that?
Right here.
Yes.
Okay, this is velocity. I took the derivative of position, chain rule, and then I simplified it a little bit. Then this guy is still velocity. I distributed this to get this, and then I took the derivative. So yeah, really I should be labeling what each thing is. That was still velocity. This became acceleration, so I took the derivative at that point. All right, move. Oh no, we need to do points. This one was -2. Pretty close. All right, are you ready?
How many questions are there?
I wouldn't tell you that. All right, number 9. Very quick. 30 seconds, 30 seconds. I will reset the second timer when I try to do this auto. This is a long time. This is a long time. is a long time. Okay, now you can work together for 30 seconds. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, time's up. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 yes. All right, derivative of a constant is 0. Pi is still a constant. Pi is just a number. So that's why it was 0 minus 0, which gives you 0. Quick question. All right, everybody got it. So.
Give the 6. Give the 6.
Give it 6.
We played 7.
Oh, give it to 1.
You need to slow down. For real. Yes, but you're trying. You speak too fast. We said they don't give it to us.
Okay, we don't need to go over this one more than we did. I gotta stop giving your points away.
I got this.
Okay, ready for next?
You're just lucky, that's it.
Okay, number 10. 30 seconds, 3 minutes. Okay. Okay, now 3 minutes.
Let's wait to see what they do. Because it depends on what they do.
Try to keep your work within your group.
Still, there's 5 people go before us. Then we don't, yes. We need to rationalize it and understand it's not real. So, and so,
Okay, about 1 minute, 40 seconds.
Do we need to rationalize the denominator?
You do not. Can you throw away the tissue? Yeah. Okay, last minute.
See, you have to go to the trials.
It's looking like too much time. Hope there's a lot of right answers. 30 seconds. Okay, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. No, no, should just be a number. No. No. Yes. No, should just be a number. Just be a number. All right. Team 1.
Give to team 6.
Given the team 6. Team 2. Did y'all get it right?
No, we didn't.
Team 3.
Give to team 6.
Team 4.
Team 6.
5.
Give it to 6.
Team 6 missed. Team 7.
Okay, this might be stupid. Is 11 over 2 equivalent to 5 and 1/2?
Is 16 over 2 the same thing as 16 to the 1/2?
No, not 2 to 1/2. It's just like 5 and a half.
11 over 2 is.
What did you have written down?
5 and 1/2.
Oh, I thought it was 5 to the 1/2, like square root of 5.
No, it's just
Okay.
5 and a half.
Gotcha, that's fine. Yeah, so what do you want?
I'd like to give it to 9.
To 9, okay. To 8, huh? Wrong, to 9. To 9. To 9. Huh? You didn't get it? Okay. Wrong. Yep. Okay. So, similar to the first question, before you guys start plugging stuff in, you should have taken the derivative. There was no way for you to like multiply these and distribute them and just do power rule instead. You had to do product rule. Derivative of square root of x times f of x left alone plus the derivative of f of x times the square root of x left alone. Then you wanted to know the derivative at 1, so I plugged 1 in everywhere for x. This became a half. F of 1 is 3. I know that because they gave it to me in the directions. F prime of 1 was 4. I know that because they gave it to me in the directions. The square root of 1 was 1, and so you were left with 3 over 2 plus 4, which could be written as a decimal or as a fraction. But once again, if you plugged in numbers before you did the derivative, that doesn't work out. You need to take the derivative first and then plug in the numbers. Also, I guess this isn't the case all the time, but as you guys know, in math, like if they're giving you some stuff in the question, 99% of the time, if you're not using that information, you might be on the wrong track. So it could be there as a distractor, but usually it's not. Okay, any questions about the math problem? Okay, and point values.
-4.
It was up in the top right once again. Got to pay attention. -4. And now it's down. Minus 4. So we got. Yeah, we're at 8 points.
Wait, shouldn't that be 12? There's 4 checks, right?
Yeah.
4 times 4 was 16. What'd they have?
24.
Yeah, 24 minus
Oh,
16.
minus 4. Okay.
Alright, so that was the last question. Looks like team won one.
Congratulations.
Alright, so once again, let me just give a quick reminder. Tomorrow, I will give last opportunity to turn in test review and chain rule circuit. Both of those can be turned into Google Classroom now, so please do that now, unless you just don't have them finished, which you should, but there's no reason to wait. Also, if you have any work you never turned in from this unit, you need to have it 100% completed and turned into Google Classroom or ready to give me the hard copy when I see you first thing in the morning. Or if you turned in anything incomplete, got half credit on it, you can still get half of those points back if you finish it and turn it in before we start the test. Once we start the test tomorrow morning, I will not take any more work from Unit 2. So.
No, I started to some last night, but I didn't try to so I didn't
Finding this slow.
Very short.
Whiteboards, calculators, and stuff back before y'all leave. You can turn it in now, or you can turn it in later. It should be. I think a lot of people have already turned it in. Second period, classwork.
Oh, yes, technically, yeah. Oh, you're just talking about
Oh, you're right. Thank you for telling me. What number was the chain rule circuit? 34? Yeah, that's right.
I guess so, yeah. Thanks.
I at least chose not to.
Okay, I apologize. I said that both of those could be turned into Google Classroom, but I did not have the chain rule circuit in there yet. But it should show up now. Sorry, I thought it was already open to turn in. I didn't do
Wait, is that a question? So if I have, so I did my change. If I'm doing the product, maybe I can do that. So it's all of
I do take a motion.
But I need, if I was doing one, and so I did put your reference first. So I can't.
negative 1/2. Sorry about 1.
Oh, we got 3. Like new
That way you start playing on
It'll be like parents.
Was that the high school?
I got a G on
that means he thinks he heard. Because if you, so again, the arch you have to have memorized. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. Slope is the same as derivative. So you really want to know when does this equal 0. Well, a fraction equals 0 when the numerator equals 0. But right now, it's still too complicated with the similar definition. So get it out of complex fraction, and then it's easier to figure out where the numerator is. Did you have different questions?
I got to here. And then I like, I can't. Oh, that's easier than
All of this is the derivative of the numerator, right? It's like times the denominator plus the 1.
Oh, that's, I put it up here.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
Okay.
I didn't-
And then,
Okay. Minus the derivative of t, which would just be 1 with that left. Okay, your derivative looks fine.
all over.
That's correct derivative. But if you take this term here and make it its own fraction so that this can move to the denominator, you're going to have a complex fraction. And then you need to simplify that complex fraction.
Well, let's see for
It's mine.
all
It's
this,
the
yeah.
same.
Well, that's what it is. Regardless of the, but I'm pretty sure all of this is. Yeah, no matter what, like, I already think most of
Sometimes you get the part unless you can rewrite it.
So if I multiply all of the top by,
Okay. I think your derivative looks okay.
like some of them.
So I would start looking for that as an answer. Not an answer. So what I see here is this is one big fraction. Yeah, so if you get a common denominator that you choose to, so multiply the top and the bottom by 3 square root and all that stuff. Yeah, and it should look pretty close.
Yeah, I just did t squared. So I've gotten to here. Simplifying it.
Okay, we've done all the hard part. When does the fraction equal 0? Alright, what do you got? So, factor 4.